Bruh, listen. Hawk Tua. You know how she came up with that name?
About spitting on, you know what? You know what I'm saying?
Hawk Tua. It's JStew in the building, man.
It's your boy TRaw.
And today, man, we back with y'all for another video. And in today's video, it's not everyone needs a podcast. It's by a guy named Cameron. Shout out to Buddy. But you know, the irony in all of this is that we got a podcast. So I actually want to hear what this nigga got to say. What you think, T-Raw?
Man, I don't know what this cash porn looking ass nigga about to say, but we'll find out.
This nigga stupid, bro.
Good conversation with your homies, that does not mean that you need to start a podcast. I'm tired of dudes talking about aliens once, then thinking that they have the right to buy a Shure SM7B from Best Buy. Now they got a podcast called Alien Talks that's just uninteresting and dry. The host sucks, the friends suck, and even the podcast name sucks. You're not the next Joe Rogan, bro. Put the mic down and put the fries in the bag. Someone's gotta say it. Remember that one relative that told you that you weren't making it to the NBA when you were like 5 years old? Just think of me as that. Hey, everyone needs a little bit of tough love in their life. Not everyone can be nice in this world. And I'm gonna be the boogeyman here saying how your podcast sucks and your friends are boring. Maybe you should think twice before you take that trip to Best Buy. See, the problem is that this world is way too nice now. And now we have podcast clips of dudes talking about how they want their mothers to have good sexual experiences.
Because I love my mom, I want her to come. I don't know if this is weird to say,
What?
but I want my mom to have flawless experiences.
How do you not know if that...
You didn't find that strange, bro?
That is strange, but you know.
Why are you worried about your mom fucking, buddy? Why is that a thing, buddy? Hey, bro, he struck me as the type of nigga when his mama pull in with a boyfriend, he hiding under the bed. He went in. He's like, hey, bro, you better pop my mama right, boy. Hey, there's some weird ass niggas out there, boy.
What?
I'm going back to this shit.
That's weird to say. Like, oh my gosh, I want my mom to have great sexual experience. That is weird.
I want you to have that,
Yeah,
too.
and I want you to have that as well.
So it's like,
Is that weird to say?
like I genuinely want my
That's
mom to
definitely
get
weird.
down good.
I'm gonna give you some tough love right here. You know, this is gonna be the toughest love that you've ever felt. This love is gonna be tougher than a...
Bro, I wonder how his mom felt seeing that clip.
His mom probably ain't see it.
Bruh, you're gonna have a weird mother-son dynamic. Y'all probably already have a weird one. Because most sons don't want to see that. They don't even want their mom to be out there doing that shit. Most sons I know are like overprotecting their mothers. Like, hey, I'm the man of the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if their daddy not around. It's like, oh, hey, don't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? You start putting your mother under your tutelage, you feel me? Because you realize as an adult that your parents ain't much more flawless than you. They just had the opportunity to raise you. That's really it. They didn't really, you know what I'm saying? They were just working with the options they have. You know what I'm saying? They're not much better than us currently. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, bro.
I don't.
You don't? Okay.
Well, I mean, you know, we all human beings at the end of the day.
Yeah, but
so,
I'm saying when you're a child,
yeah.
maybe I phrased this all wrong. When you're a child, you know, you see your parents as, oh my God, they could never be wrong. They could never make a mistake.
Yeah.
Even if you saw your parent, somebody did one over on your parent and they complained about it, you would still think, my mom was in the right. That person is a bad person. Without even trying to think, maybe your mom may have did something to trigger that action. That's just you as a kid. Just like when we as kids get beat by somebody who's not our parents and we go cry to our parents, Your mama not finna ask, what did you do to get him to hit you? She's just gonna go up there and fight that person because, like, yo, don't touch my child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's the same thing we give to them when we're kids. We kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. But once you become an adult, you kind of realize, oh shit, my mama was just like, it's like me for real. She just had me. So she didn't really have a choice. But she's not smarter than me.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. She's wiser. She had more years on the earth.
Yeah.
But she's not flawless. It's not like she can't make a mistake.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying is like his parent dynamic gotta be strange, bro. Because as a man, you normally like, you know, you're like show to your mom, like, nah, bro, like
Yeah.
you kind of like want just like when your mom asks you to do anything, you're not just gonna pass it off and be like, oh, I know she's capable of doing it, so I ain't gonna do it. It's just to make her life a little bit easier because you care about her as her son.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's nothing sexual or us wanting her to have these experiences. We just don't care about that stuff, bro. We're just more protecting of our parents. We shouldn't even be thinking about our parents having sex. Like, I'd never heard of a child that was interested in things like that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. You're a strange one. You really should go seek some, you know, some help.
A well done steak. You need to stop podcasting, bro. I'm sorry. Never in my life have I ever thought about my mom having good sexual experiences. Y'all are just odd human beings. What even sparks this conversation? Like, how do you even get to this point? And why was this video even uploaded to the masses, bro? We need to start telling people no more often. You know what, man? I'm thinking about starting a podcast. No, bro, put the mic down. At this point, it needs to be easier to buy an RPG from a gun store than it is to buy a microphone from
You shut up
Best
for that
Buy.
one.
Because I promise you, if there were background checks for mics, we would be nowhere near this point. It feels like everyone has a podcast nowadays. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. NBA players, rappers, children. The Hawk Tuah
Podcast
girl
game
just started
is
a podcast called
oversaturated.
Talk to Us. Don't get me wrong,
Not
shout
even
out to
gonna
her
lie.
for running up a bag off that one phrase, you know? I saw that she got 30K for popping out to a club a few weeks ago. Like, kudos to her, you know? I'm gonna clap it up for her. But why would I want to hear that woman speak for 2 hours straight each week about current events in her life? I mean, for
Bruh.
crying out loud.
Bruh, listen. Hawk Tuah. You know how she came up with that name?
About spitting on, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Spitting on Snicker bars.
Hawk Tuah.
I ain't know she named the podcast that though.
That's why they call it Hawk Tuah girl.
That's wild.
Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing.
That's wild. The name of your podcast, that is crazy.
Yo.
Wow, she got famous for talking about how she spits on the pee-pee. Why am I supposed to care about what this woman has to say? Does she
What?
really need a podcast for saying Hawk Tuah and
Spit on that thing, you get me?
The world could go without a podcast from this woman. You know what? Maybe I'm just hating. You know, maybe why don't I just check out one episode?
Let's do it. You do it.
Spit on that
Hawk
thing.
Tuah. You gotta put like an emphasis on it, like tuh. You know, like really. Yeah.
Now
say
she
it,
teaching
all right,
people
all
how to
together.
do
Hawk
that shit.
Tuah.
What?
Tuh. Hawk Tuah. Say it aggressive, like Hawk Tuah.
After watching one episode of the Talk to a podcast, I wanted to announce that I am quitting YouTube and becoming a full-time neurosurgeon, astronaut, and monk, all because of this podcast. This is one of the most enlightening podcasts that I have ever watched, and I just wanted to say thank you, Hawk Tuah girl, for opening my third eye and helping me evolve as a human being with your phenomenal podcast. I really appreciate you. All jokes aside, no hate to her. She's just capitalizing off her opportunity like any other human being would in her position. position.
Prize
But overall,
picks.
I just don't think there's anything really interesting about this woman that sets her apart from all these other
Everybody
podcasts
got a
out
prize
there. Yeah,
pick.
she may be able to get
Everybody
some
got
great
prize
guests on
picks.
there because the podcast is connected to Better, which is a sports media company co-owned by Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, like, the guests can only carry her so far, you know? Like I said, there's not much interesting about this woman. She got famous for saying how she spits on the nutsack, you feel me? But like I said, she's just capitalizing off of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Podcasts, after all, aren't the hardest thing to do. Podcasting is one of those things that I believe is easy to start, but hard to master. The bare minimum is to get a few mics, sit down with some friends, record, chat for a little bit, and boom, you got a podcast. Like, it's not that hard. And if you already have an audience, it makes creating a podcast even easier, because if the audience you've garnered cares to watch you for like maybe a few seconds or a few minutes each day, they'll for sure listen to you talk for about 2 hours each week. So it makes sense to why so many people are starting podcasts nowadays. But like the title says, not everyone needs one. While some of them are good, some just feel like people talking just to talk. Like, I wouldn't even call some people's podcast a podcast. I'd rather call it mic terrorism. The other day, I saw a podcast clip of two dudes talking about lefty loosey, righty tighty being the greatest invention of all time.
Lefty loosey, righty tighty is the craziest invention.
What the heck?
I use that all the time. The
Lefty
saying lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Yeah.
We just got a new
Righty
machine.
tighty.
It's like
Yeah.
it's called an articulating log loader.
Yeah, what?
It sounds like my toilet paper.
Yeah.
There's forks like this.
Just
that
like
picks
a
up
little
log,
thing to help
and then it can
you
open and close on it.
with
and
knowing
the
how to
left button
loosen
opens
something,
it,
tighten
and the
something.
right button closes it. And I literally say to myself, I'm like lefty loosey, righty tighty when I need to let go or grab on. It's the lefty loosey. I might get that tattooed on myself.
Like, no offense to these two dudes at all, because they're probably great people. I could probably sit down, chop it up with them, eat a steak, and just vibe out with these dudes. But there's gotta be something way more interesting to talk about than a saying used for when you're screwing something in. Like, what's next? Are we gonna talk about bunny ears being the best method to tie your shoes? Or maybe even schist being the best rock there is?
I
This
didn't know that was a
conversation just
real
feels so
thing.
bland and pointless. Like, if an alien were to
Oh, you
imagine
didn't know
two
about that?
human beings
Nah,
talking,
nah,
I'm pretty
lefty
sure it'd
loosey,
think of this
righty tighty.
AI generated ass convo right here. Like, this is the product of podcasts being so easy to start up. We
I
now
would
have
just
dudes talking about screwing
clockwise,
mechanisms
tighten,
as a topic of
counterclockwise,
interest. Like, I don't
loose.
think every conversation has to be important
Yeah,
in a
you made it
podcast, but
complicated.
there's no way that these dudes copped some premium podcast
always use
mics, got them
lefty
set up
loosey,
and
righty
everything
tighty.
just to talk about lefty
Oh, for
loosey,
real?
righty tighty. This podcast
Oh,
just has no
shit.
meaning at all. It's just yip and yap
I used to
going
just
back
think
and
of it
forth
like a
about
clock.
nothing. I
Like,
swear
you
these
know,
podcasts
when
just
I'm
get
turning
worse
it,
and
it's
worse,
like a
bro.
clock.
Like, there's just too many
That's why I
podcasts
did
now,
this
and what more
counterclockwise
is there really to talk
type
about?
shit.
We gotta sit here
Yeah.
and like just think for a second. What more is there really to talk about? Instead of having to get a degree for a job, people need to start getting a degree for a podcast. Like, let's just be real. Like, is there really a need for a podcast where frat dudes talk about Hawk Tua?
Bro, I don't know if you heard of the Hawktua girl.
Yeah.
Sit on that thing.
Bro, that blew out of proportion. Like, I low-key think it got too big.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I've seen the clip, but good for her, I guess. I don't know.
No, like, it's everywhere. Dude, even at, like, Old
That's
Town,
what
you'll hear
everybody says. People
Hawktua
go
remixes.
Really?
What?
Bro, I think it's crazy that you can like do one little thing,
So they
and
couldn't
go
say
viral, and
shit.
then all of a sudden the next day you're like a celebrity. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yo, this guy in the comment section even gets it. This man said podcast equipment should cost $1 billion. I totally agree. I'm not gonna lie, like, no offense to these dudes, probably some great people, but I'd rather drag my balls through the hot Sahara Desert than listen to these frat dudes talk for 2 hours straight. You best believe I'm serving a life sentence before I listen to Jimmy and Tom from the Beta Theta Sigma frat talk on a podcast for 2 hours. Like, this podcast is just drier than a Popeye's biscuit. There is no energy at all to this conversation. And you may be thinking, like, bro, you can't judge off of just one clip of the podcast, you know? This is every clip.
What is your favorite frat?
I don't know. I like how big SAE's parties are and like Lambda, but like I think ASIG just threw a really cool party. So
Oh, I heard, dude.
Yeah.
Kyle was just on it. He's an ASIG.
Yeah. It was a
That's
really
dope.
good party.
This podcast just sucks. This convo just sounds so generic and
Nah,
bland.
them boys
No
lame
energy
as
at all.
hell.
Just,
What?
what's your favorite frat? I like SAA. They're bag. Oh my god, I heard cows there. Like, get this off the airways, bruh. Like, what did Joe Budden say?
That shit is that 2-pack of ass.
I genuinely wish I could take back the few seconds of my life I wasted watching that podcast clip, because now I just feel 10x dumber than what I was before. I feel like one of the keys to a great podcast is an entertaining host, because there's going to be boring parts to a podcast, and it's up to the host to make that podcast interesting when it's getting dry. But the problem with this podcast is that the host has the personality of a raw chicken wing. So when he talks about boring topics and he's also boring,
You know
that
what's
just
funny?
makes the podcast
I was just about to get on and be like, damn, bro, this nigga might actually give us some shit that makes us feel like our podcast is trash. But all the clips that he showed us, bro, out of all the clips that he done showed, we better than dog niggas, gang.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey, man, go ahead, fucking like, comment, and subscribe, nigga. And run them podcast episodes up. Because we better than these niggas. You fuck around and you gonna learn something on our shit.
Yeah. I mean, even you can go and look at the bullshit podcast that we did.
And you was
It's
still better than still, even the early days.
What?
Even when we was just bullshit in 2021 type shit, we was still letting off gems compared to what you see on that shit. Oh, what's your favorite frat?
What?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they, like the
Same
conversations
outfit,
they having, that's phone conversations. Like you have conversations like that over the phone.
Yeah, when the shit get dry, then you like, all right, bro, I'm gonna hit you later, bro.
What?
Shit.
What?
Not to be sitting in front of your face saying that, and then y'all have that awkward stare looking at each
No,
other.
nobody know who Kyle is, and
What?
nobody gives a shit.
What? This shit crazy, bro.
10 times more boring. Another problem with everyone starting a podcast is that some people don't believe that they need to do proper research before they record. Like a little bit ago on Twitch, there was this streamer named Jason the Ween who hit 100,000 subscribers, you know? He was number 2 on Twitch for his amount of subscribers in that month. And then there was this shitty TikTok podcast called the 949 Podcast that decided to give their opinion on the whole situation. And no, they're not really knowledgeable when it comes to this whole streaming space. So this was their take.
I think it's the new wave. It's
It
'cause-
is.
yeah. It's just, but the thing is, it's the new wave because of clips.
Exactly.
Like Jason the Wing.
He doesn't even
guess
sound
how
like
many
a
live
because
nights
of
he has?
clips.
Depends on the time.
It's
Yes,
not.
yes. You guys
He don't even sound like you know what he's
how
talking
many
about,
live
fam.
views do you think he got?
Like 3K?
3K. Yeah. So like he's like,
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Y'all boys are a disappointment to y'all families. Asians are supposed to be smart. I just felt disappointed listening to you guys. You're not living to your stereotype.
number 2, I guess like, well he has like around 15 to 20.
Oh wow.
Okay?
That's
But
pretty
But
good.
think about it, like that's not that good in terms of like views.
That's true, but
It's
live.
good for live.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's good for live, but think about the people in the world. It's only 15K. That's what I'm saying. Streaming is not like a mainstream thing yet. It's only mainstream because of the clips that they put out after,
Yeah,
which
right.
get millions and millions of views.
Right.
But no one's actually.
Another
watching that
thing
shit.
I gotta say, why are the two dudes sitting on one side of the couch together, and the girl sitting on the other side? What's wrong with y'all? Y'all averse to the pussy or something? Bro, y'all should have had guy, girl, or guy, girl, guy. That would have been fire.
Yeah.
Now they got this set up where this nigga hand going all the way across his shit like that. Like, come on, nigga. Nah, nigga, don't put your hand behind my shit like that, nigga. Give me some space, brother. Fuck.
Yeah. No, literally, bro.
There's a few things that piss me off about this dookie TikTok podcast. Number 1, this man is saying streaming is only big because of clips. Yeah, because nobody's gonna sit there and watch an 8-hour stream front to back. idiot. So to make it more digestible for
That's
the
for
average
sure.
viewer, streamers and their audiences make clips so that more people can see their streams. What's so bad about that? Another thing this man says is 15K live viewers isn't good views because the clips get millions of views. That's how the internet works. And 15K is good because it puts him in the top 0.1% of streamers. Like, why is it surprising that a live stream has less views than a TikTok video? Are we becoming this slow in society where we can't comprehend that a live stream that you have to watch live has less views than a video where you can watch whenever? This dude knows nothing about what he's talking about. He's just saying a hot take because he has a mic in his face with the cameras on. This podcast just sounds like one huge gossip session. That's the problem with a lot of these podcasts. Some of them are just gossip sessions. Another situation of a podcast host not knowing what they're talking about is this one right here. So a little bit ago, there was a situation with Kai Cenat, right? He had a cameraman that was talking to an underage girl, and this podcast decided to put out their take on it because, hey, it was a fresh topic. Why don't we say something about it, you know? Why don't we do it for the clicks and engagement? And this is what they had to say.
Kai Cenat, everybody can't go. You need to start looking around. And I know, like, black people specifically, when you get some success, you want to bring everybody with you, but you got to be able to kind of weed that shit out. I should have known who Chris V is. I should have known who Chris Next Door is.
But Chris Next Door is literally an AMP member. What do you mean that you shouldn't know who he is?
I should know who Kai Cenat is because you are the driving force in it, but them I shouldn't even know who they are.
I think it's important to highlight that Chris Next Door is an AMP member. If you guys don't know what AMP is, that is Kai Cenat's group.
That's the problem. Kai Cenat shouldn't have a group.
Kai Cenat joined the group before he became this huge mega streaming machine. This dude knows nothing about what he's talking about. He's just saying a hot take because he's on a podcast.
That's how they got on.
Yeah. Having a team and making it with your team is very important. But if there are problematic people in there, kick them out immediately.
But you gotta know when you are the one, like he is the one. I get it.
So he should abandon everybody?
Yes.
He did not do this alone. Like, there was a journey of a camp of men.
Came together.
And I agree, like, this problematic person, this person that was underage girls, he has to go. He, like, bye, we're never
Alright, man, this is my final take for this video, gang. It's only 3 minutes left. We should finish it. But I have something to say about that, bro. Listen, bro. One of the biggest things celebrated about Kai Cenat, bro, is the fact that this man was a part of a group and he still made it. And they all made it. And they're big together. That's what everybody loves about AMP. Yes, Kai is the most popping nigga in the group because he's the loudest. He's the craziest nigga. He's willing to go live. He's the most consistent too. I ain't gonna lie, because all them other boys be ducking off. And I mean, besides Agent, because I think there was a year or two I used to follow Agent. He was putting out videos every day too.
Yeah. But
Kai has been consistent. Even when I don't follow Kai, I don't watch Kai. I don't follow Kai's main his live channel. I'm subscribed to his main channel, not his live channel. I still see clips.
Yeah, for sure.
This nigga is consistent. You can't knock a nigga for his consistency. And the fact that he brought a whole group with him, I mean, he was already part of the group. Really and truly, if you know anything about AMP, Kai was added in last. They didn't even know if that nigga should have been part of the group. They added him last. You feel me? So the fact that they added him last, he blew up. He took the whole group with him. Bro, that should be celebrated, gang. Stop being fucking haters. That nigga is a selfish motherfucker. And those podcast members, they should be aware to know. He's gonna abandon them when shit starts to go off. He's gonna be like, oh, I don't need them boys no more, bitch. God damn.
Now that we are here, and it's the second, third, however many times something like this has happened, what does he do moving forward? Because now it can't keep happening. You have to insulate yourself because at the end of the day, that group doesn't mean anything without him.
That is cap because everyone actually grew themselves before they were in AMP. That's why it worked so well as a group because everyone had their own platform before joining. Except for Chris. He kind of created his platform after, but he was still pretty known. But this guy just knows nothing about what he's talking about. And this is my my problem with so many of these podcasts. Like, if you're gonna put out a statement on any current topic, you gotta do the research to back it up. You're gonna end up looking like an idiot. You can't just go in willy-nilly on something that you know nothing about. That's why a lot of bigger podcasts like Joe Rogan have someone who can fact check, which is Jamie on his podcast. And if you can't afford someone to be in that spot, you should just look it up yourself before you put out this idiotic take on something you know nothing about. Like, there's a difference between a hot take and just a bad and uneducated take. And this right here is what I consider an uneducated take, because he just lacks the knowledge on what he's talking about. I like how some people on the podcast are like trying to tell him like, yo, it's not like this, it's kind of like this, but he just doesn't want to listen. He just decides to be ignorant. I swear some people just get a mic in their face and their brains just go to mush. They don't know what they're talking about. I seen a dude the other day talking about how you need to stop wearing Nike socks with shoes for no reason at all, just because he said so.
Stop wearing Nike socks with shoes, bro. Or a designer shoe. Even if you wear Nike socks with some Air Force Ones, just stop doing that, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I just can't see nobody wearing no Nike socks with a pair of shoes, bro. Like, what are you doing? My bad. I think that's crazy.
What do your socks have to do with anything on your fit? I understand if somebody says stop wearing a Nike shirt with Adidas pants, like, that does kind of make sense, but stop wearing Nike socks with shoes? Why? Why don't you tell us why? Why? I think people gotta realize it's fine to have conversations without them being recorded, you know? We need to start stripping cameras and microphones away from society. Everyone has a voice, but not everyone's voice needs to be heard. And since this is a video about podcasts, there's another thing I gotta get on my chest, bro. Alpha Male Podcast. This podcast format honestly just needs to retire, bro. Like, when I tell you, these podcasts are one of the worst things to ever hit the internet, because after these podcasts hit, all people would argue about is who was worse, women or men. I hate this whole argument, because can we all just agree that men do bad things, and so do women? Men lie, and women lie. Are we done now? Like, I hate this whole format of podcasts. But yeah, not everyone should have a podcast.
Okay, brother. Hey, we reached basically the end of the video. And he finally touched on us. Finally, he kind of touched on us a little piece. We do talk about the men and women thing. But at the end of the day, man, the reason we decided to go that direction was because there's just too many lame niggas out here, bro. And, you know, I don't want to say the gang is lame. I don't think none of y'all niggas lame, for sure. You know what I'm saying? You follow us, so you can't be lame. It's just, I feel like there's too much. Like, I've seen too many down bad clips, bro. And it's almost like we're never trying to play the blame game. I don't have no hate for women like these red pill motherfuckers. I actually care about women. I like women and their opinions. Like I said, like, everybody has a time and a place, and everything requires balance. If you see our podcast, sometimes we get on the men, growth, improvement, what we can do to improve, blah blah blah. Then I also get on the women. Damn, bro, like, and I like to bring women on and get their opinions. There's plenty of clips of us doing that. So I just think it's all about balance, fam. And, you know, not everybody really does need a podcast. Like I said, some of these podcasts ass. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel and go binge the podcast episodes. Because I guarantee you're going to get a laugh way more out of our shit than what you've seen in this video. I guarantee it. For real.
But yeah, I agree with what he was saying, though. You feel me? If you just gonna get on and gossip, have conversations with your friends that you should be having over the phone, talking about people who you know personally, who the viewers don't know.
Don't fucking know.
Like, it makes no sense to have a podcast, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like, if you're not giving away advice that people can take and apply it to their own life, you don't need a podcast.
Yeah, it's pointless, bro. You're just wasting your time because nobody's finna watch. And if motherfuckers out there actually watch that, bro, come over here. Bro, come here. We got this shit over here, nigga. Way more entertaining over here, nigga. I promise you, nigga. Come run them views up over here, nigga. They don't need that. Except for Hawk Tua, girl. Hawk Tua, girl, you actually genuinely funny. That shit had me dead. I fuck with you. I just would never watch your shit. But
her shit is more entertainment than
yeah, than the rest of the other shit that we saw out there, bro. But man, without further ado, man, this has been another video, bro. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. You know, you see the links, you see the socials. Go ahead, click on that Discord. You know, it played some point in the video, man. Go ahead and hit that, and we'll catch y'all in the next one, man. We out.